All right, well, good morning. Welcome, everyone. Good morning from Olin. It's live from Olin College. My name is Mark Somerville.
And I am Rob Martello.
And we also have Greg Morrow with us here. He's our co-host out in the interwebs, and he's going to be taking questions from anyone in our audience out there across the U.S. who's watching this via YouTube or Google Hangout or some technology thing.
Greg, it's great to have you here again, Greg.
So we really encourage you to send your questions into Greg. He'll convey them to us here at the show.
All right, we've got a packed schedule today, Mark.
We do. Actually. I'm looking forward to the show, Rob.
I'm glad to hear that. Makes one of us, actually. Right. So, no, but we're going to start with something great. There's a lot of new things going on at Olin, new happenings at Olin. We're going to start by updating on a few of those.
And I've heard that one of those actually involves my co-host, Rob Martello. So I'm looking forward to that, Rob.
It just might, and I believe you might have your turn as well.
I might too. That's possible.
Could be coming up.
We're looking forward to the Building B update. Brennan has been in the field collecting some footage for us about that, so we're looking forward to that.
I cannot get enough of that myself.
I can't wait. I can't wait to find out about that.
We have a great live segment, by the way. Ellie in the field.
Oh, that's right. Ellie.
The camera crew is heading over there right now. We have a camera truck heading over there. We're going to set up the shot for that. So that's going to be great.
We also are hearing about something I don't know much about, Rob, but it's this thing called the student residency program.
Yeah, that's because we're a residential college, right?
We are.
So that comes in.
I don't know what it is, but I'm looking forward to finding out.
We're going to find out. We've got an expert more knowledgeable than we are on this, so we'll hear about that one. And all that. We also have an opinion piece coming up, right? Our new segment there.
The engineer's perspective.
Engineer's perspective. So we'll get some hard-hitting facts. So this is going to be a great show. I'm looking forward to it. We'll be back right after these messages. Sorry. There is no commercial. Right. So. Whoops.
All right, well, we're back. We're back.
Okay.
Everyone.
We're back.
We're back. Okay. All right.
Fantastic.
So our first segment's about new classes at Olin. And Rob, I understand that you are doing a new class.
Yes, I am.
It's stuff of history. Is that right?
It is not the stuff of history. No, sorry.
It's 6 microbes that change the world.
I'm actually going to stop you right there. Right. Okay. So it is neither of those things. Although I have taught those before. This is a great new class I'm teaching called Chemistry in Context. So this is another integrated course that we're doing here at Olin, first time this semester. And as you mentioned, I have taught a bunch of integrated courses before. I like to bring context into a technical subject.
You're just Mr. Context, aren't you, Rob?
I love that, and we put it right in the title there. So I'm really excited to connect these disciplines. And best of all, I get to teach with this dynamic, wonderful new Olin professor, a recent hire, Scott Hersey. And can we roll the clip? Actually, I want to roll the intro clip.
Right. Okay, let's look.
No. The clip is here. How could the clip be in the plan? Wait. Oh, this is our intro clip. Okay, sorry. So I guess we're sticking with this, Mark. Okay, so
he's a good-looking guy.
This would be Scott Hersey. Okay, yeah, nothing but the best high-tech effects for the show, right? So anyway, Scott is a brand new faculty member at Olin College. This guy is amazing. He is like a real-life action figure. Okay, so he has come from South Africa right before he came to Olin. He studies atmospheric chemistry. He's actually interested in air quality, pollutants. He's trying to improve the air quality in Johannesburg and other places through his research. He also starts nonprofits, right, that helping employ different people. Wonderful. Before he came to Olin, he did a trip across the country. I'd get emails from him talking about surfing without a tether in Hawaii. He'd be, Rob, jogging around redwoods.
The thing I think to myself is, thank God we got hired when we did. Boy, that's all I can say.
Boy, it would not be a pretty picture
these days. We would not get a job here today.
Mark,
that's all I have to say.
Notice I'm putting the picture down at this point, Mark.
Just
I think that's all I could handle at this point.
Yeah,
so I just took a hit right now. So at any rate, Chemistry in Context is a great opportunity. We're taking a project-based approach towards chemistry. So we set up the course in 3 phases. Phase 1 was not particularly project-heavy, but we looked at energy-related chemistry, batteries, storage, global warming type issues. We also have a water quality piece in Project 1. So we looked at some water quality policy, some economics. That was pretty cool skill building stuff. Right now we're in Project 2. We're actually near the end of Project 2, atmospheric quality, which is Scott's area of expertise. So our students got to pick from among 9 different cities.
Wow.
They got to study the context, so study the economics.
So like Massachusetts cities?
We actually went farther afield, right? So we go to Iran, South Africa, Moscow was one of them that we're doing. We have Los Angeles in there, though. So
students like traveling to Iran?
Sadly, no. That would not fly.
That's too bad.
Yeah, so we're doing that. But
you actually would have to fly for that.
Mark Somerville, ladies and gentlemen, right? So yes, but in this case, though, we're actually having them model the different city and study the context. So study the history, the politics, right? The economics of it.
That sounds really cool, Rob.
It's really awesome, actually. And Project 3 is an open-ended final project. We haven't started it yet. Students are going to pick what they find interesting and just run with it from there.
So basically, you couldn't think of something to do for the third
That is
project.
exactly
Okay.
correct.
All right, just wanted to be clear
Dead on
about
target.
that.
Yes,
Yep.
that is
Yep.
100%.
Okay. All right.
That's right. But you know what? Enough about me. I think this is not the only new thing that's happening at Olin, right? And I believe, Mark, you are involved.
I am involved in a new
activity.
class at Olin. So I'm involved in a new class that's called Quantitative Engineering Analysis.
Quantitative engineering.
It's actually team taught, so there's a big teaching team associated with it. Rebecca Christensen, Chris Lee, Siddharth Govindasamy, and actually we've got a special guest from that teaching team. So could you join me in welcoming Dr. John Geddes?
Fantastic.
Hi, lads. How you doing?
John, it is such a pleasure to have you here.
It's a pleasure to see you too, Rob.
So
that's really great.
So John, I am dying
You're
to hear
looking
about
great.
this course. Well, thank you for that. Right. So QEA, I'm hearing great new course.
How's
John,
my hat?
John,
How's my hat?
Love the hat.
Okay, sorry.
Love the hat,
Right,
my friend. Okay, QEA, John. Could you give us a rundown? What are the big picture about it? What's the story?
QA, it's actually a really simple story. You can how Olin students love projects, and you can how every project sucks when it finishes. This course is they're going to build good projects that actually work.
Great. That's great.
Could I add a little bit to that?
I would love that.
All right, so just to add on to John's very insightful comments, one of the things that we've sort of observed about Olin students is that by the time they're graduated, they're really great at doing design and sort of executing on the design process, but sometimes they're not as strong at sort of applying the power tools of mathematics and science to doing engineering analysis. Okay. And so one of the things we were interested in exploring was, is there a way to sort of build a project-based course that authentically integrates mathematics and authentically integrates science in the service of actually doing engineering projects? And that's sort of been the driving theme for this experiment.
That's exactly what I said.
Great. That's fantastic. So this sounds like a pretty intensive experience, actually. It sounds. It is.
It's students are working hard, just hard enough.
Just hard enough.
Just hard enough.
That's where we like to keep them, isn't it? Right. That's the zone there.
Right on the cusp of pain.
And what would it look like if I visited your class? What's a typical day in the classroom look like?
That's a good question, Rob. Well, basically, they come in at about 9 o'clock. They sit down, they stand up, sit down, get their books, work together, talk to us, we talk to them, we say something, they say something, do some computer work, we do some building stuff, we draw on a bit of paper. Oh, sticky notes, right, sticky notes. And then it's 12:30, time for lunch.
Mark?
Well, I suppose one thing I might sort of wrap around that is the idea that there are these modules in the course that involve a sort of authentic engineering projects. We actually just completed one of the modules. This was a module that was called To Float a Boat, and the sort of driving question around that is sort of how do you apply the ideas of mathematics and science to actually designing a boat that will actually float in a particular way, that will have particular characteristics. And so on the first day we had students build boats, and I think, John, you brought one of the boats with you,
I brought
right?
one of the fine boats for day one. Check that out. We just said, hey, go build a boat, make sure it floats. That's what you get. That's an Olin project for you.
So this is a day one project I'm looking at here.
Day one.
And in fact, there were a set of requirements for these boats, and of the 18 boats that were constructed, 17 failed the requirements.
That's right.
That's a pretty steep failure rate there.
It was not good. It was not good.
71 succeeded.
But the good news is that we then, over the course of the next 6 weeks or so,
it felt like a lot longer than that, Mark.
Oh, yeah. We engaged in learning a bunch of stuff, ranging from vector calculus ideas to ideas around physics, and applying those ideas to boat design. So finally, at the end of the project, students again designed a boat, and they actually fabricated that thanks to an enormous amount of work from our ninjas in the class. They were able to fabricate that on the shop bot. So here's one of the final boats.
Isn't that Bonnie?
That's looking fantastic.
Bonnie means pretty.
And it actually floats. Okay. And it's very stable too. I mean, this is really nice.
Fantastic. Nice progression. All right, so that's just fantastic.
But what was particularly nice about this actually is, I mean, it's a great looking boat, but the fact is that this boat actually is a boat where every sort of property of the boat had been calculated before it was fabricated, including things like angle of vanishing stability and what the sort of restoring moment was for different trim angles. All these things were calculated, and then at that point they tested the boat and it actually performed as expected. So look at that, math works.
Fantastic.
And it was only built once. It was only cut once. Well, it's near the result of 100 different cuts. That's one cut.
Really, that's fantastic. These are, and we're seeing here the application of what was it, the power tools of math.
The power tools of math and science.
A phrase I've never heard before. Right.
Now you have.
That's fantastic.
You'll be hearing more of it, Rob.
look forward to that. But before that moment, I believe that we can keep talking for a while. But Greg, I was wondering, do we have any questions from the audience you'd like to ask any of us here?
Yeah. So in the spirit of voting, one thing that has been a core part of the Olin experience for a lot of alumni has sort of been struggling through some of those math and science classes in the first years of grad school. And so do you think that really this is antithetical to the early Olin experience to give these power tools away so freely?
Does anybody understand what he actually said? Because I have no idea. Was he speaking a foreign language?
What is your question, Greg? So I mean, I think
it's more a comment. I think alumni are excited
right.
to be focusing
right.
more on quantitative analysis.
Yes.
Good.
And then a quick clarifying question: what year is this class taught during?
So this is so right now we're running this as an experiment. So it's not every student is taking it. About 36 students are taking it right now, and they're taking 8 credits of it this semester in the spring of their first year, and then 8 credits of it in the fall of their sophomore year. So it's 16 credits total. So it is a big class, and it sort of ends up being equivalent to Linearity 1, Linearity 2, mechanics, dynamics, and signals and systems. So it's a lot of stuff in there.
Awesome.
Are there other questions for us, Greg, or shall we move on to our next segment?
No other questions right now.
Fantastic.
All right.
Thanks very much, John. That was wonderful. We really appreciate it. You're welcome back here anytime.
Well, thanks very much, fellas.
And now we'll go to...
No, I would say I was expecting a cup of tea. So, late night talk shows, early morning shows, cup of tea.
That was mine.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Thanks, Mark, for
all right.
accommodating
and
you.
Now we'll go to a commercial break.
We'll be back in a moment.
Back in a moment.
Apparently, there was no commercial.
And now we're back.
And we're back.
All right.
Okay.
So, Rob, I understand we've acquired some footage of the Building B project. So
Absolutely.
It's time for the Building B update. Could we run the Building B update footage, please?
Wow. Mark, did you see that there in the corner?
I think it was a squirrel.
That was. Check out the tree in the back. You see that one? That's.
All right, and that's the Building B update.
That was
All
the Building B update.
Okay, we're back now.
Cutting edge.
All right. All right, so I think it's live from the field now.
It's time for us to cut. I've been told that our camera crew is in position right now, so we have a remote unit. We'd like to turn it over to Ellie.
Ellie, are you there? Can you hear us, Ellie?
I can hear you. Mark, Rob. Can you guys hear me?
There she is.
We've got you. We've got you, Ellie.
Yes.
We are in the field. I am in the field with Tom Heel of Revo. Now, Tom, this is the first year that Revo is doing the Formula SAE competition. Can you tell me what that is?
Yeah, so Formula SAE is a collegiate competition. It's happening in Nebraska, and it's a race between teams that have built kind of like full-sized electric cars, or this size electric cars, fully functional on a track, drive around and be faster than each other.
That's incredible! Tom, can you tell me a little bit about your role on the team?
Yeah, Elman. So I am on the electrical team. So I do like sensing mostly. I prototype circuits to make sure that our stuff is going to know what's going on, and then I design some PCBs so that we can get them printed and hopefully put them on the car.
PCBs! Sheesh! Tom, I hear that there's some very high voltage involved in Revo electricals this year. Can you tell me just how high that voltage is?
It's like really high. It's like 90 or 100 volts max.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, don't friggin' touch the tractive system. It'll electrocute you. Yeah, you'll explode.
Explode! Wow. Tom, can you tell me what's coming next for Revo?
Yes, Elron. So next we have the first week of May, the 2nd to the 5th, in New Hampshire, Formula Hybrid, which is a race kind of like SAE. So we're going to go up there. We're going to have a car. We're going to drive it and stuff. This is going to be the car. It's going to have like things on it by then. By the first week of May, it's going to be a car. And then second week of June, we have SAE in Nebraska. So we're going to go out there and we're going to race again. But presently, we have a GoFundMe that's happening. So on the Olin Revo page, you can check it out. We just need $2,000. It's not that big of a GoFundMe overall for the fundraising we have on this team, but it's specifically to get people to Nebraska. So we can get the car there, but we need to get humans there also, which is complicating.
It doesn't look like this is big enough to fit the whole team, so I'm guessing some funding is important. Now, Tom, it's been awesome talking to you, but I think we both know that there's one person we should really interviewing here. Now, Revo Kart, you don't look like any car I've ever seen before. Can you tell me your secret to uniqueness? Back to you, Mark and Rob.
Thanks, Ellie. That was great. Thanks, Ellie.
Wow. All the way back from the field. Fantastic.
Wow.
Cutting edge, pulse pounding reporting at its best right there.
Well, it's time for another commercial break, Rob, and when we come back, we've got student residency at Olin.
Right. Now a word from our sponsor. No commercial. Oh, no sponsor. Oh, that explains it. Okay. No sponsor.
Maybe we should go on GoFundMe.
Let's just,
see if we can get a sponsor.
If it works for them,
yeah.
I think it might work for us
All right.
or something like that, right? So.
All right. Well, it's time for our special guest now. This is about student residency, and it's Miss Michaela Deach.
Yes.
Michaela, would you join us, please?
Guest.
Michaela. Welcome, Michaela.
Welcome
Nice to have you here.
It's nice to be here.
So nice.
You might want to pick up that microphone.
Help yourself
there.
to a microphone. So, Michaela, could you please introduce yourself to our audience? They might not be familiar with you.
So for those of you who don't know me, since our school is so, I totally understand, it's a big school. My name is Michaela, and I'm a sophomore. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and yeah, I started, it's been a year-long project now for me, the Rework Studios.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, Rework Studios, we have studios at Olin, right? So what is it about Rework Studios? What's going on with that?
Right, so we've got studios, that's definitely true, but we don't have these studios. These studios are special. And I'm going to read a little bit to you because I'm bad at speaking in front of people. Yeah, cool. Okay, so Rework Studios is a student residency program that provides dedicated workspace on the second floor of the Academic Center to 3 students for this semester in any project in art, craft, or construction. And I made a little manifesto in case anybody wants to read my thoughts.
We will have to share
Very
that later.
cool.
But 3 projects are going on right now. You're mentioning.
Yeah,
Can you tell us a little bit about those?
I would love to. So there are currently three projects happening. One of them is a student who is working in film, and they're doing a storyboarding project. And so something that's really important about the studios is that they are a space where sort of the creative process, which is something that we all engage in but is very not glamorous and difficult, making it visible for students, especially students on campus. So trying to sort of broaden our interaction with things outside of our curriculum. And giving a really safe space for students to do that on campus and using the tools that we have and the resources that we have, but for things that they're personally really, really passionate about. So yeah, so one student is working in film and they're doing storyboarding. One student is doing wood blocking, so they're taking large pieces of wood and they're carving them out to do prints. And then one student is doing like coloring books, but big, so that everybody can color on them.
How big?
Like an elevator.
Wow.
Like imagine an elevator.
That's
like
an
a color.
interesting
Elevators.
unit size, by the way.
Yeah.
An elevator, right? So
Yeah.
Because I sort of think of books as being mostly sort of two-dimensional, and
Right.
elevators are sort of three-dimensional.
I
so-
mean, you're old, so it's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Michaela.
Yeah,
It was a pleasure to talk to you. Do we
Uh,
have any questions from the alums?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Michaela, with this program, is it 3 students at a time, or how will you help make sure this reaches as many people at Olin as possible?
So, very similar to your project, my project is also an experiment. And so, which, is the word that we put in front of things to do what we want at Olin. But so my experiment is just for 3 students this semester, because that was how many students I could fit in the space that I could have. So I would love it to be more students, and also this particular trail run, the students needed to be working on projects that were something that was very visible and tangible, and so 3 was also a good number based on the proposals as well that I
Awesome.
got.
Thank you.
Yeah.
all right, and do we get to see these results at Expo or displayed somewhere?
So that's actually the really cool thing about this project too, is that it's constantly outward facing, and so we are working on planning events that are for the whole student body. That will be something that, and constantly when the residents are working in the studios, people can come by and come and look at them because they're in the academic center, they're in a place that's highly trafficked, and sort of making that exploration and that creative process something that can inspire everybody else, which is what is often residencies are for. So.
And if our alumni audience wanted to find out more, how would they go about that?
So currently, the only documentation is on my personal website, but I am working on creating documentation that is like, a kind of DIY if you wanted to do this cookbook. And so that will be finished by the end of this semester, because the point of this experiment is that it'll continue on, and so for it to continue at Olin, and also if people wanted to try doing this at other places. So I'll definitely make that available.
Unsurprisingly, this is a seriously cool idea. I love it. This is fantastic.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thanks for
happy
joining
to.
us.
Wonderful.
Of course.
Really appreciate that.
All right, and finally, it's time for our last segment. We're going to introduce a new segment today. You can leave now.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, though.
We're introducing a new segment, An Engineer's Perspective. It's an opinion piece from a member of the Olin community, and this evening, I believe we have Mr. Bill Wong.
Bill Wong will be joining us here in a moment. Bill, come on in, take a seat.
And Bill's going to share with us his opinion about something. I was told it was Needham sewage.
Yes.
Oh, that's false, bro.
Okay. Well, what are you sharing with us this evening?
I'm a student here. I have to live on this campus. I'm a busy man. I gotta travel. I got a meeting in the library. I got a class in the AC. I have to meet my
Do
friends.
you talk like this normally, Bill?
This is how I talk. I got a tight schedule, Mark. There are some times when I need to get to a location, and that requires that I travel between the indoors and the outdoors, and that often requires going through a doorway.
We're following you so far.
You following me?
Yeah, we're.
I don't like to be stunted in my path, usually. I like to take a straight line to things.
Stunted in your path.
Stunted in my path. And sometimes I go to approach a door, Mark, and I end up pushing on the wrong side of the door. And sometimes there are people around and they're looking at me, and I look like a moron. And I'm walking here and I look very confident up until the point where I touch the door and then it doesn't open and I slam into it. and people start laughing at me. Has this ever happened to you?
It sounds like you're feeling really hurt right now.
It's
This is a safe healing space right here.
Thank you. I just wish sometimes that I could approach a door here and feel safe in the knowledge that I could know which side of the door to push on in order to pass through it at an optimal rate and get to my desired location speedily. That is all.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Bill.
Some serious words.
Thank you.
From Bill Wong.
Thank you.
So, gave us a lot to think about here. We appreciate that.
You can leave now.
Oh, you want me to?
Thanks. Thanks.
Well, let's thank him. Thank you so much. Can't believe it, Mark. We're out of time once again. Right, so
it's been a great show, hasn't it?
It's been a fantastic show, from start to finish.
So what's happening next time, Rob? On the show?
We've got some great situations. So we've got a few new stories coming up next time. Olin's going back to the basics. We're going to be rethinking time. We're calling this next segment Quamesters Revisited.
Oh, that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
I remember something about that in the past.
It rings a bell. Yeah,
we're also planning, I understand, to open a new campus in France, in the Alsace region. It's going to be called Olin Lorraine.
That is fantastic. Mm-hmm. We're rethinking assessment again, going back to the basics. Gates about Gates, we're calling it here.
Oh,
right?
That's a major grant from the Gates Foundation, isn't it?
The Gates Foundation talking about Gates, right? Okay. So we're going
all right, well, so join us next time. We look forward to seeing all of you again at Good Morning from the Big O. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
And
I'm Greg.
Have a great day.
And thanks very much.